Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. Hope you're having a great day so far. At the moment I'm in Henley and I'm just heading back to Reading where I live. And I live in the UK, so it's a lovely place. Kind of. Well, varied, rains a lot. We always moan about the weather, etc, etc. Anyway, so just done some yoga. Had a good meditation session. Talked about maybe extending it. There's different levels in the in heartfulness. And it's difficult because it goes beyond into other things. One yoga may link into another and that kind of stuff. I've been practicing a technique where I've been focusing on the chakra points, or if you don't believe in chakras, it's like nerve clusters. You've got neurons in your organs and you're connected to them, and your mind is kind of a network. Sorry, because it's raining, it's got its wipers on. Your mind is a part of this network, so it's connected to your body. That's why you get gut feelings, you take things to heart, you get aches and pains in your body that relates to your emotions. You get butterflies in your stomach, or you got a racing heartbeat. All these things, so you've got this parasympathetic nervous system, para-nervous system, they run down both sides. One relates to negative sensations, one relates to positive, like, stimulating adrenaline. Anyway, there's certain points where they connect to neurons, where the brain's involved. They said there's enough neurons in the stomach, same as a cat's brain. So you're quite elaborate in your design, and we don't really know the full extent of our potential. It's just that not all of it's online, so it's a part of accessing that. So at some level, some people are trying to retain their humanity through relaxation, trying to find what they used to feel like maybe as a child, or before they got in a stressful career, or recovering from some emotional traumas or whatever. But these are all good opportunities to hack, redevelop your body, like I say, access areas of it that you haven't accessed before. A bit dark, let's get the lights on as well. It's just changing the way you are in the most natural state of who you are, and developing that kind of thing, that kind of thesis, I guess. But there's different levels. Some people actually project, some people go off and do other things in yoga. There we go. So today was quite an interesting one. I've been having synchronicities and things like that increased. I think it's because what I could call back the static or interference you have in your normal day-to-day life, background noise you can call it, white noise, maybe white fall if you wanted to call it, give it a kind of name for intrusive thinking that's in the background that you can't filter out and stuff like that, or it shouldn't exist. It's just quiet down to nothing. You should be worried about what the neighbours think, or who your friends are, who your enemies are. It's just get on with the life moment by moment. But some people don't do that, so it's a bit more difficult. So there's techniques you can develop within the meditation. As for me, I'm kind of looking for new areas I'm going into, and I'm also going back to other areas. So with the synchronicities, I was looking for some plants, and I got hold of these plants. And even though it seemed a bit strange, it was an interesting experiment. So definitely. And so that's a good idea. Some other things come up, like get uploaded thoughts about things. It could be, some people talk about the higher self. There we go, I don't drop gear because I hit a bloody giant puddle. And things like that. Adapting to stress, like I'm driving through, it's not hazardous, but because of heavy rain and so on, and it hasn't unfazed me that, and you can see I could be able to drive. Same way I could have a conversation on the phone, which I'm recording this thing on. So just let me drop down speed to 30 miles an hour. There we go. As recommended by the road. So yeah, so basically you can better enable you to deal with things, stresses and so on, and also explore your psyche and other areas of your being. So yeah, I mean, if I want things, because my mind has got less interference, I'm able to project that into the universe. So if you're looking at things like the laws of attraction, you're improving that. Yeah, I mean, it's like polishing. It's like if you imagine them Tibetan Buddhist bowls. All I've done is polish the crystal before I can chime it. So now it sounds a little bit sharper, a little bit clearer. So the tuning's improved just a little bit. And at first you won't notice it much, but then you think, well, I wonder where this is, and suddenly it turns up in front of you. I wonder where that is, bang. I want this. Oh, I was thinking about that. And it all just falls into place, and you think, oh my God. You know, so it's quite interesting how things work. What else? What else? So I had a very unusual session today. I basically did some work on my nervous system. I was sensing it. I was sensing it in my stomach as well. I'm trying to connect to these new energy points in my body and make more full advantage of them, basically, in some ways. So I did a bit of travelling as well, a bit of spiritual travel. I met my grandfather. I don't know him too well, and I'd forgotten what his name was, to be honest, but it was told it's Harold. So we had a chat, and he was on the beach, and I connected him, because recently there was some older pictures that were sent across by some of my family, and I haven't seen him in his younger days. I was I was probably about 12 when he passed away, and he died at around sort of age of 65 or something. He smoked. He worked in like an ironmongers. It was smouldering and stuff like that. Ironworks he was involved with, and before that he's done quite sort of heavy labour-intensive work. Yeah, I mean he's a nice gent. But I think, basically when he retired, maybe the stress of that, and just the hardship of life had worn him out a bit. And so, some of these roads say they're 50 miles an hour, you never know, they're like country roads. Yeah, that's only 50 miles an hour. But there's an ambulance coming down one way. So yeah, it was interesting, I saw him, we went and met at the beach, you know, I connected with him, he seemed happy I was there. I think he's waiting for family or something to meet up. Oh, blimey. No. We'll drop gears because I'm going up a hill. And there we go. So that was interesting. And then I went back to some of my kind of esoteric science research projects. And I connected with plants. So I sensed the plant's energy. Connected with kind of my heart chakra in essence. And I connected, there were some other things, like there was some wolf's teeth, and I connected it, and to be honest it was a scary vision, because I saw this like dead wolf, and his eye opened up and he just looked straight at me, and then I saw a cat's eye. It was very unusual. I connected with the animal, and I realised that the animal's spirit was in a low vibration. So they talk about you can go into your own kind of inner hell, and you'll be at a low frequency held in this status. So they say people that don't believe in God or something go there, you know, kind of thing. It's not necessarily, but maybe they're detached spiritually, or maybe they're in a really bad negative energy frequency. And they say like suicidal people go there, or people that are enraged souls and things. They haven't moved on, they're emotionally caught up in a kind of prison that they've created. So anyway, yeah, it's so because this animal died pretty quickly, and it was in a lot of pain. It was shot at, I think. But I've got my own heaven inside. This may sound a bit bizarre. So my own dimension. You create things in your sleep. So I've got a plain. It's like a natural plain. So it's like a forest there. There's an open field. So I took the wolf there, and he's gone off to run off. There's other wolves in there in the wolf pack. See, originally, so this might sound a bit sort of out there, but so it's probably under 10,000 years ago. I travelled from Earth. I'd come from a different area of the galaxy, and I was in spirit form. So don't worry, I didn't come here in a UFO or something. But in order to join at different frequencies, of the planet, you've got to start off in the lower realms. So I had to be an animal for a while. So one of the things I had to do was I was a wolf. So I learned from that side of things. So I was connected to a group of wolves anyway. And then I was a crocodile at one point, and some guy hunted me in the. So it's a billabong. It was next to some kind of. There was a bar there. It was a bar. And some chap shot me on the porch or something with it was like an elephant gun. So that kind of type of weapon. And yeah, I think basically because he consumed my soul, he probably raised my frequency as well. So when an animal sacrifices itself for something else, it lends its frequency to that being. So anyway, so it helped. That kind of helped me in my ascension process, even though it was kind of not exactly the nicest way to sort of die, I guess. But it elevated my frequency. And also an animal like that was associated with like a reptilian being, which I was prior to coming to Earth. I was some kind of pilot in a craft, and the world basically had become quite barren. Whether they're still out there, I don't know. The species, there was some sort of cataclysm, and it resulted in some damage. I think it might have been a tale of a supernova. I'm kind of getting information now. It's yeah, because sometimes you have binary star systems. So the other star went into some kind of supernova or something happened to it. It was a minor sun. It was a lot smaller in size, so like a dwarf sun, but it let out a massive solar flare, basically a blast, and it caused a massive amount of damage. But anyway, so I think that this craft went out into the universe, and I may have actually used technology to send my spirit into another star system. So some people deliberately star seeding. So whether it's chosen it with my time or whatever, but anyway, that was from my spiritual experience, and it's like, why do you have that? Because I did something where I took Ormus, which is just mineral based and energy based, and I had this really unusual dreams, and I was going from one life to the next, and I was seeing things. I was trying to make sense of them, and that's how I got led. And then I had this thing where I took no, isn't that? It's right, it comes to me, come on. It wasn't moonshine. Absinthe, yes. I took some absinthe, and I took a high dosage of it, and I had this dream, and eventually there was a wolf in the dream, and it was very vivid, and it led me through a pine forest, and it led me to a clearing, and that represented the end of the end of the trip, I guess, because that's what it has. It has something called like an ergot type mould in it. And it causes, yeah, I think worm war. It might have something like that. Crumbs, I've still got a bloody cold. And yeah, so that sort of helped change that. So that sort of led that conclusion that there was some sort of connection to wolf spirit guide. But I think it's one of the pack that were leading me out. And as a wolf, how I come to die was I had a fight with a bear. Wow, it's actually made me emotional saying that. That's really interesting. Yes, because I was fighting a bear to protect my cubs and my I guess my soulmate. That's why I've always been led to think about soulmate. Yeah, I think I fended off the bear, but the wounds I received were a bit too heavy, and so I passed away with my cubs there. Okay. Wow, that's very karma. That's very strong karma. I mean, if you so I can feel that, but then she knew that I went on somewhere else. That's very interesting. You know what wolves believe? They believe the moon is heaven. So you go to the great grey moon in the sky. That's interesting. Nah, someone put something in my latte. Yeah, it's really interesting. I never connected to the emotional. But then again, I've been doing sort of this heart yoga, and so it may be adding another dimension to my spiritual past lives and a deeper connection to things. So yeah. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. I have to reflect on it. But you can see sort of like images come to mind. So I was probably in somewhere like Alaska, Canada, that particular life. Aggression gets you sometimes where you need to be. I have to sort of cut in there, but it was my right to drive there, so yeah. Anything else? So I've been doing some experiments with some eggs. I've got pickled things. I've got this massive jar of pickled onions, and I got it off this client. And I've eaten the onions with my salad, but I didn't want to throw away the vinegar. And I thought, well, why don't you just pickle a load of eggs? Because you buy things in mass, and you throw away, like mushrooms. You can pickle mushrooms as well. So I don't know if I should cook them prior to pickling them, or just pickle them. I'd have to. Depends. I think it really depends how long you're going to eat the mushrooms for. If you're planning to eat them and they're only going to pickle them for a week, but if you leave them pickled for a month, I think they start to break down a bit. More tender to eat. And I've also added spices. I'm probably going to push it to the next level. I had turmeric added to the eggs, and it's created what I call golden eggs. And so I've also tried to create some what I call dragon eggs. So they'll be green, but they come out brown at the moment. I've added Worcester sauce to this pot of vinegar. What else? And some other sort of spirulum. It's like seaweed type thing. You get it in seaweed. You get it in grape vines, or you get off the vine tomatoes. I couldn't say where it's going. Oh, crumbs. I don't know where you're going. Look at this car, and it just went all the way round the roundabout. So, oh well, I don't normally go like that, but I need to get out. Yeah, so anyway, so I added that, I've added mint, and I see, but the only thing is, you need very strong spices and to go into the mixture, to be absorbed into the eggs. Otherwise it's very mild, the vinegar seems to take it out. But it's great to have with your salad, and then I just look at other things to pickle, really. So I can, it's a good way to save money, it's good for my fasting. You know, if I need an egg, I can just go in there. I've now got probably about 25 eggs, and there's no food waste as well. I can just get in it, get them gone, you know, or throw them on a salad. Quick little protein hits. Or if I'm hungry, I might decide an egg's better than a bit of chocolate. So I'll have a quick egg, and that's that. I might look at some other things like meats. There may be some other things I could also do. I could like put them in olive oil, other things, and then have them soaked in there. And it could be, yeah, like soak up with meat, cook it up, see what I think. So I don't know if it's probably best to cook it up. If you put the raw meat in and it breaks down, it may be more nutritious than if you cooked it. But you could also have things that might not like in there. Like you wouldn't want it to have like some parasite inside the meat and then it comes out and it affects you in some way when you eat it. It depends how well the meat was transferred and how it got in there. Like nowadays with salads, I tend to put them in the microwave for a little bit. Warm them up. The salad doesn't really hold heat, it goes flying through it. But if you've got lots of things in that plate and you heat it, and also there's chemicals, try to break down some of these chemicals. And it's also good for plants. Like if you get water, put it in a jug, leave it overnight, let the chlorine break down a bit. Because not all plants want chlorine. They don't like the water too much, it's a bit toxic. So yeah, anything else? No, not really. I'm just going to enjoy my day, have fun, and I advise the same. Have a great day. Right, take care, bye.